This week's scenario is Extraction from the 2016 Steamroller packet. This scenario does have the Killbox Artifice in effect and consists of 2 flags and 2 objectives. Any flag can be controlled for 1 CP or dominated for 2 CPs, and the enemy objective can be destroyed for 1 CP. Victory conditions consist of 5 CPs or caster assassination.
Well, today I'm playing everyone's favorite caster, Victoria Haley 2. She's got a couple of Stormclads, a Squire, and the very underappreciated Thorn, a Journeyman Warcaster, and a Hunter. I'm actually into Stormlances, Laddermore leading them, and Lanyssa Ryssyl just because she causes trouble. And of course I'm kidding about Thorn. Thorn is awesome.
Greetings, Internet. I've been working my way through the new edition casters here in Retribution, and today we have Adeptis Rahn of House Shyeel. I tried to tune this list a little bit more for a scenario than assassination, so we'll see how it works.
This is my first game against Retribution in Mark III, so I'm not sure what to expect other than I know Ron can shoot me from a long ways off. He's an assassination caster, but I can do this. Haley can assassinate too, and she has TK as well, so we'll see what happens here. I'm kind of squeezed between these 2 forests, but so is he. So I'm going to put Laddermore in a position where I can try to get her behind that obstacle to keep her from getting messed with too much. She's very important to this list. I guess this is it. I want to see where that Hyperion goes. The pre-deploy kind of sucks. Not having to pre-deploy him kind of sucks now because I don't know what he's going to do with him. So here we go.
I won the roll and elected to go second. Not sure this was the best choice against Fort's list, but I was concerned about getting bottlenecked too much at what would have been the top of 2 in between the 2 forests if I had gone first. So I put the Sentinels towards one side of the board, Rahn, Discordia, and the Hyperion towards the other side. The Chimera went on the opposite side of the Sentinels from Rahn to allow Rahn to project his spells towards that side of the board, and then the Battle Mages in the middle for support.
My one lonely little hunter is going to go up here. I'm not sure where to place him, so he's going to go hide behind this wall or hill or something, or trees. I'm going to try to put a lot of pressure on my opponent's army by getting as far up the board as I can. I'm going to have a fairly defensive unit of Stormlances in the middle between that obstacle and that northernmost forest there. I'm going to run my 2 Stormclads forward. Thorn's going to run up as best he can, get on the other side of this wall here. I don't want to lose him. He's extremely important to this list, so I'm going to try to keep him safe behind that forest there. Lanyssa is going to do the same thing, get behind the forest to set up for next turns. Hunter's mark on something important. There goes Laddermore. She's going to hide behind this obstacle to make it harder for Ron to target her with stuff, or any of his other range for that matter. The whole base of that piece of terrain is an obstacle. It's not just a rock in the middle. Here come the Stormlances. They're going to run up in the middle here. I made them into a wall so that I could hide Haley behind them to keep too much from being able to shoot at her. And then I realized that he's got a couple AoEs over there, so I don't want to give him too many shots. But they're going to be defense. Junior gave them Arcane Shield. They're going to be defense 15 from deceleration and armor 20. They're going to be hard to hit. I'm sure you can engineer some kind of something to take out 1 or 2, but I shouldn't lose more than a couple of them. And then if he gets too far forward with the Hyperion, those 2 Stormclads might be able to take him out. I think that with TKs and so forth, I can get to him if he comes up on that hill where I expect him to be. Now Haley uses Thorn to reposition one of the to TK one of those cavalry forward. It left a gap that she can be shot at, but he's still got 2 cavalry that she's and the obstruction he's hiding behind.
So I know how fast cavalry are, but every time I see it, actually see them move that much distance across the table, it always feels like a shock. Well, almost since the beginning of the new edition came out, I've been hearing people on the Cygnar podcasts and forums talk about storm lances and how spectacular they are in the new edition. So I'm looking at the squad of storm lances in front of me, and the first thing that's coming to my mind here is I need to protect my Sentinels from getting killed by the storm lances, and at the same time try to take out a couple of them. So doing some pre-measuring, looking at threat ranges, I decide that the best means to do that is going to be a force hammer from the Chimera into the lead storm lance. So we get the Chimera into position. And then before we do anything else, we go ahead and move up the Dawnguard Sentinels. They use their Iron Zeal mini feat to protect them a little bit more. The first couple move forward and pair up in the front to limit the amount that can be hit by the initial melee. There's not a whole lot I can do about the electro leaps, but I'm hoping that the Iron Zeal will cover that part for me. With the Sentinels in position, we go ahead and activate Rahn, who moves forward, and first thing that he does is use the Chimera to put Polarity Shield on the Sentinels, and then proceeds to arc his Force Hammer through the Chimera into the lead Storm Lance. Since the Storm Lancers are sitting at defense 15, armor 20, and I don't want this to be a wasted attempt, I go ahead and boost the attack roll and then the damage roll on that first Storm Lance. Easily hitting and killing it. Unfortunately, the collateral damage doesn't do anything to the second Storm Lance, but he is knocked down. At this point, I'm realizing that what I've done, that I may have overextended Rahn a little bit and left him without any focus on him for protection. So I put Discordia to try and provide him a little bit of screening. The Arcanists move up and empower the Hyperion. This was my big mistake of the turn. I choose to walk the Hyperion up so that I can put shots from its autocannons into the knocked down Storm Lance. And as a result, I leave a nice gap where Rahn could potentially be attacked through. But a high volume of shots from the Hyperion into the knocked down Stormlance succeeds in destroying one more mounted Storm Knight. And then the Battle Mages will move up and try to close that gap and leave Rahn a little bit less exposed.
Well, my PG buddy over there took a really long time to do his turn, and he set up fairly well. I think Rahn might be assassinatable if I... or vulnerable to an assassination, I guess. I don't know if assassinatable is a word. It is in Texas, damn it. So I'm going to set it up and try to get to him. I've got to get rid of a few models, but Haley has the tools to do that. It's unfortunate that Thorn is kind of jammed in with the Forest and the Stormlance there, because I really want to activate the Stormlances after Thorn. The Stormlances are what's going to have to try to kill his caster. And so here we go. Thorn is going to run through all of this forest here, skirting as little of it as he can. It takes off some of his movement, but not enough to make it so that I can't get where I need to get. And the plan is he's going to TK that Jack out of the way, reposition up on the hill, and then TK those little guys, the whatever those little guys are that are base to base there in my line of sight, or in my path of attack towards Rahn. That's the plan, at least. You can see Rahn, so actually I'm going to TK Rahn first. It's close though. I almost blocked him off with those little guys. So we don't have to boost to hit. We have the Squire that lets us do the reroll thing, and then Haley has Future Sight, which will let her boost afterwards. So we're going to see what happens. I roll crappy, but the boost does hit him anyway. And she's an 8, so she's not that hard to hit. So we're going to move him forward, TK him forward, and turn him around. Now I'm trying to decide if I want to reposition Thorn, or where I want to reposition Thorn. So I'm going to put him deeper into the enemy lines. And then I've got to get rid of one more of those little guys to clear up some charge paths. I also want to TK Laddermore out from behind that obstacle so that she can charge him. Now she's going to have a weird charge path because the obstacle and the Jack are kind of going to mess her up. But I think that if I do it right, she can get far enough over that she will be able to reach Rahn with her lance. And that's all she really needs to do. So we TK one of those little guys out of the way. So that's 5 of her focus. She's got 4 left. I guess I'll TK one of the cavalry forward. And then 2 Fury left. And then I'll go down to no Fury and move Laddermore out from behind this rock. Use his laser and see that Laddermore does have the ability to get to Rahn. So I guess we'll do her first, just because she can go up there and give the other Stormlances +2 damage on their assault shots. She's going to assault Rahn. He's in the back. She's cavalry. She should be able to put a really big hurting on him. He's not camping anything. lots of little measurements here. It's amazing in a pre-measuring game that you have to do as much measuring as you do. I'm not sure what the conversation is here, but I believe we agree that she can get to him. So here she goes. Her assault shot hits, does very little. Now we're checking, she gets 3 Electro Leaps off of that. So we're Electro Leaping. It goes to the Hyperion, and then to the little guy up on top of the hill, and to the Jack. It hits both Jacks, and then the guy, then the Hyperion. So it doesn't do anything really. I was hoping that it would Electro Leap to the guy that was in my way from the Jack, but it doesn't. It goes back to Hyperion. But her charge attack's coming now. That's a hit. Let's see. I believe I can kill him on like a 9. I roll a 10. Game over. Rahn is assassinated by Haley. Wow.
So the lesson to be learned here, kids, is always protect your caster. Definitely I should have run the Hyperion to completely shield off Rahn and not worry about taking the shots to take out the second Stormlance. Should have been good with the one Stormlance taken out and not had gotten greedy and gone for 2. But we live and learn. I'll see y'all next time.